So we got this 99 Ford Ranger in here. Has a couple concerns. One is when you turn the turn signals on, it'll flash for a little while and then go solid. The light will go solid on the dash, and then the turn signal, whichever side you have on, the lights on the outside of the vehicle will just turn solid. So considering both sides do it and they come on for a little bit, I'm going to lean towards the flasher is bad. So I pulled up a wire diagram for the flasher. We have, we'll go into there and look at it, but this is this wire, the orange, yellow, goes into the flat. This is the flasher here. That goes in for power when the key's on. This one is comes from the fuse junction panel down. That's hot all the time. So like if you turn your hazards on without the key on, it'll come on. These two wires go out to the wiring harness for the lights. And of course you have this one here is a ground. I got a feeling that we'll get the power coming in here, and then just the flasher itself is bad normally, but we'll double check everything anyway just to be sure. The other problem is the windshield wipers will come on and run for a while and then stop. I haven't actually been able to recreate that here in the shop. It's quite a bit cooler in St. Louis today, so it could be that motor's getting hot and it's shutting off. But since it's so much cooler outside, it's not getting as hot as it should. So I don't know. We'll look into that too. And then she has a brake issue. Brakes are squealing, evidently. So anyway, we'll pull that panel off under the steering column and fish that flasher out and see if we can find something there. All right, so I'm under here. I got these two panels off. You got this plastic panel that comes off first. There's 4 7mm screws. You got 2 in each end, and then the one that holds the hood release. There's 2 to hold that up. That has to come off. Then you'll pull this panel off. It's got some snap clips on the top, of course. And then they have this big steel brace here. And that has 5 bolts to hold it on, 8mm. So it's 7mm for the plastic panel, then 8mm for the steel plate. And then here's the flasher right here, actually. It wasn't, it's probably supposed to be latched somewhere, but it's not, so I'll have to figure out. Looks like it was latched right here at one point. So anyway, this is our flasher. We'll go ahead and test it. I mean, it's common sense experience kind of tells you it's pointless. The flasher's just getting hot and just stops flashing. But we'll check the power in and out, all that good stuff, just for fun. And take a look go from there on that. But this is the flasher. It's yellow. I think sometimes they could be blue on these Rangers. I'm not sure. I know a lot of them are yellow. And it's right, like I said, it's right underneath this steering column. So you just pull that panel off, get that off. I'll kind of show you also what it's doing. Sorry for the wipers. I'm trying to get the wipers to act up and they won't act up. But you can see here it's flashing. And, you know, if you put your hand on this flasher, you can feel the relay flashing back and forth, or making the noise, making the connection. Alright, so right there it just stopped. So you can see the blinker is solid. If you come out to the lights, you can see they're solid. Both front and rear. Rear solid. Oh, and I think if we turn it to the right, Anyway, it takes about 30 seconds, and then you can see right there it's solid on both sides. So I'm going to leave it in this position now where it's locked up basically, and we'll test the wires and see what we get down there. Just make sure it's not losing voltage somehow or something weird like that. All right, so we got the we're unplugged into the orange and white right now, which is power when the key's on the on position. The key's on the on position. It's locked up right now, obviously. It takes about 30 seconds for this thing to lock up. And you can see here, well, you try to see, this glare is horrible. We got battery voltage on there. You can see my Braun light hooked to this metal brace here. I like to brag on that light. Now we're going to go to the red and white, which is the power all the time. And we expect to see close to battery voltage on that, and we do. So what you would do next is probe, since it's lit up out there, we're assuming it's getting voltage out of this relay. It's just that it's stuck in the closed position or the open position. So we should see close to battery voltage coming out of both those wires that go out to your lights, the left side and the right side. You can see I'm probed into that one. It's close to the same voltage. So that means that basically this relay is just stuck. The contacts must be sticking closed after it warms up a little bit. And again, we got close to battery voltage on that one. So the last thing to do is check the ground, which is the black one. And what you want to do there is find yourself a good power source, which we know we have with the battery on all the time, or the power all the time. So I'll just put a T-pin in here, and we'll probe this black wire. If it lights up the test light, then we know we have a good ground. So I'll get that set up real quick. Alright, so when you want to check a ground, what you want to do is find a good power source that you know. And since we already know this wire here is power all the time, I just put a T-pin in there and hooked my test light clip to that, and then I'm just going to probe this black wire, and that should light up if we have a good ground right now, which I'm assuming we do since we still have sorry to set you down, but you can see it's lit up. So what that's telling us is we have good power coming into this switch. We have a good ground to the switch. We have a good power coming on the switch with the key on. And we have power actually coming out of this relay going out to the lights. But what's going on is this relay is getting stuck in the closed position, and just that's why it's lit up there. Now, if this was stuck in the open position and it wasn't lit up, then we wouldn't expect to have voltage coming out of these two wires here, which go out to your bulbs. You know, it's part of the wiring harness, goes out to your bulbs. In which case, your light wouldn't stay lit up, but you would test it the same way. You would test to make sure you have both your good powers and your one good ground, and then you would know if your lights weren't lighting up, and you would probe these two wires and there was nothing coming out of there, then you would know it's this relay. But we also know that this relay is just getting stuck closed. So anyway, yeah, we'll replace this, and that'll fix the wiring problem with the turn signal problem. And then we'll move on to the wiper motor problem, which I'm not even sure. Like I said, I haven't been able to recreate it here in the shop, so I'm not sure what we're going to do about that yet. And then she also had a concern about squealing brakes, so we'll take the front wheels off, take a look at it. But that's about as far as you can go diagnosing this relay with the issues that we have right now. And so anyway, we'll put a new relay in it. It takes about 10 to 30 seconds for it to lock up. So we'll put a new relay in it, let them run for a while, and make sure the problem's fixed before we put all these panels back together. But that's just a simple way to test it with the meter. You don't need a Vantage. You can use any voltmeter, and technically you could just use a test light for all these tests. But I like to see to make sure there's battery voltage there or close to it. So we'll go to the auto parts store and get that part, and go from there. All right, so I'm back on this Ranger. I'm actually at the person's house because none of the auto parts stores around here had the flasher and they wanted to order it 5 to 7 days. I'm not going to do that, so I went to the junkyard. I actually grabbed 2 of them, got it in there, got it mounted. It's been flashing now for about probably 2, 3, 4 minutes. No issues, so that was definitely the problem. So anyway, I just mounted it back up in there. We'll put these 2 panels on and we'll be done. So I have no clue why the auto parts stores don't carry this, but we got it in there, got it fixed, and it's ready to roll. So that'll be the end of this this video on the flasher. Like I said, just kind of follow that guideline when you test it out yourself, and should work well for you. So that's it for the flash on the 99 Ford Ranger.